Time. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mac.
A morning edition of Duck Insider because we've got a flight to catch. The Ducks are traveling to Las Vegas this afternoon. They are practicing this morning, developmental squad scrimmage, I believe, as part of their usual Fast Friday routine. It's not Friday, but to the football team, today is Friday because tomorrow is Saturday. The Ducks will be playing Friday Night Lights, 5 o'clock, 3 o'clock pregame show tomorrow on the Oregon Sports Network. We're going to talk about a lot of different things on the show today. Full Pac-12 Championship game preview. It'll be televised by ABC. 5:14 is the official kickoff time. 3 o'clock pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network with Terry Johns. Jerry Allen and Mike Jorgensen will have the call with that 5 o'clock, just after 5 o'clock scheduled kick. And the Ducks are in the Pac-12 Championship for the third straight season. And a third straight title is on the line for Oregon. And they're playing a team that, well, has a pretty good taste in their mouth right now because Utah beat the Ducks pretty good in Salt Lake City a couple weeks ago. But now this is a different Oregon team. Maybe a little healthier. They've made some adjustments. And they know what's on the line. They know what it's going to take to win this game. And we're going to talk about all those different keys to the game with Jerry and Jorgie coming up in just a moment. Also today, we will hear from Verone McKinley. I've yet to hear from him on the show this week. Popo Amavai met with the media for a couple minutes, giving his thoughts on the trenches. And then Seven McGee, who has assumed those punt returner duties and has done, I think, a pretty nice job. Seven McGee will meet with the media as well. And our graduated Duck this week, every week we try to feature someone who has already earned their degree. CJ Verdell is a guy who's already earned his degree, and it sucks that we have not been able to see him on the field since early in this season, but he's already earned his degree. Excuse me. And because of what he did against Utah in the Pac-12 Championship game a couple years ago, we're going to feature him as our graduated Duck in just a little while. Men's basketball got a win last night. We're going to hear from Dane Altman. I think took a step in the right direction, but Coach Altman would tell you still a lot more in the tank. And you could probably hear the way that Coach Altman expressed that by me using that phrase. And then also women's basketball with a tough one to UC Davis. They are very, very banged up. And Kelly Graves with some pretty candid answers post-game. All of that and more coming up on the show today. Without further ado, he's Mike Jorgensen. Joining us from the home office before heading to the airport, Jorgie actually has a day job, so a Friday kickoff makes things a little tighter in the week for Mike Jorgensen, doesn't it?
Hey, just honored to be part of this call with the champion, Jerry Allen, the champion of the picks. Oh my gosh, he has just wrapped it up before the last game. Bow down to the champion. Bow down.
I'll be honest with you, I never in my wildest dreams thought this year I could win this thing. I just didn't think I could do it.
Joey, what's been his record the last 3 weeks?
Well, if we have to get into our picks, brought to you by Sylvan Ridge Winery, I wanted to talk Oregon, Utah, but
we will. But we need to recognize, excellence at its highest level. And so, what was his last 3 week stats?
Jerry went 15-0.
Woo, man! How about that? What?
Yeah.
How do you beat that?
Jerry went 15-0. In our picks, our Pac-12 picks, those of you who are usually with us on a Friday, yeah. Jerry went 15-0 in the final 3 weeks of the regular season. We do have one more game to pick today, and it's really just a question of who's going to finish second between me and Jorgie. Jerry Jerry upped his percentage to 69% correct picks, which is really good. Dating back to 2019, we had a pretty good year for all of us in 2019. I won picking 65% of the games correctly. 2018, Jorgie won that year picking 73% of his games correctly.
Wow.
In 2017, the champion was Jerry, and he picked 75% of his games correctly. Then in 2016, I believe this was the record, I picked 81% of my games correctly. 2015, if we're getting mathematical here, 77% was the winning mark by me. And then in 2014, Jerry won, and it was 76% correct picks. I did go back, Jorgie, though, and see if anybody had ever gone undefeated in the last 3 weeks, and I don't think that it has ever happened. I looked this morning, and, yeah, it's never happened before.
That's hard to believe.
I don't remember 3 weeks ago, Jerry, you walking around and holding up four fingers, fourth quarter. I don't remember that. I just don't remember that. So, yeah. Wow. Impressive.
Yeah,
impressive.
So an impressive finish. I'm not going to bow. It's not something that the Ducks do.
What a shock.
Not something that the Ducks do. But, Jerry, congratulations. Our Sylvan Ridge Winery Picks champion is one Jerry Allen. Jerry, you have the floor, sir.
I would rather have the bottle. I can get a floor anywhere, but I can't get the bottle.
That's true. Working in the profession that we work in, Jerry's behind a microphone pretty much any time he wants. That's funny. That was well done, sir. Yeah. So Jerry is the champion. All right. Well, before we talk Oregon, Utah, then I mean we're on this subject. Jerry, you have the first pick in the game that was rescheduled to this weekend. We obviously won't pick the Pac-12 Championship game because the Ducks are in it. But USC, 4-7, 3-5 in Pac-12 play. They've got a new head coach who won't be the head coach in this game, as far as I know. 8 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. Cal, 4-7, 3-5 in Pac-12 play. Neither team really has anything to play for other than pride. Jerry, who's going to win?
It's at USC, too.
No, it's at Cal.
Oh, it's at Cal. Wow. Trying to figure out what the mindset of USC is, knowing that, the coaching staff they currently have are probably going to be gone. That a lot of guys that are playing on that team right now are probably going to be gone. How do you go into a game mentally to play when you know that? I think some of the guys are really excited about Lincoln Riley. I think that was a terrible hire. All it means is now we got a better coach in the Pac-12. I mean, that's, that's a backslide, backhanded compliment to Lincoln Riley. He's a great coach. But I don't think USC gets it together. I think that they are mentally struggling with all of the changes. So I'm going to defer.
Oh man, Jerry is really, really enjoying this this victory. It's been a few years since Jerry won. I don't think Jerry, you haven't won since 2017.
No, I know. I'm relishing this moment, and I want Jorgie. That I did this in spite of not deferring all those weeks when you said I couldn't.
Yeah. Jorgie has won. Jerry has now won 3 times. Jorgie has won once, and I have won 3 times. And then last year we all tied, which just sucked. Okay, so Jerry's deferring. Let's see. That means since I went perfect last week, I have to pick next. I will also defer. Jorgie?
No, you can't. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Cal. I think Cal is Cal has all the makings of the team that should win in this situation. But it wouldn't surprise me if USC wins, just because crazy things happen in final games that don't really mean anything. I'm gonna take Cal because they're at home. I think Cal has the makeup for everything that Jerry just said of a team that's gonna win.
And you and I are tied, right?
That is correct. This is for second place.
Oh.
Oh, and actually, Jorgie, you don't get to pick next. The coin does. Because yeah, Jorgie went 4-2. Coin went 5-1 last week. Sorry, Jorg. There's the coin flip. Heads, home team, Cal. And I should point out that the coin is mathematically eliminated and will finish in last place, but that's how it should be.
That's good.
Jorgie?
So I went 4-2 last week.
That is correct, sir. And he muted himself. I don't know why he muted himself. Maybe Jerry muted himself.
No, I'm not.
Jorgie's muted. So
Sign language.
Okay. I just wanted to get it off my chest. Okay.
Okay.
I knew. Yeah.
All right. So that was.
I can read lips. Okay.
Yeah, that was not radio appropriate. We apologize, everybody. Thank you to Jorgie for muting. Continue, please, sir.
That was good. Well played.
You know, I think Cal will get it done at home. I think they have a lot of pride in what they're doing. They want to finish the season strong.
We're going to tie.
Well, hey, I took my – here, let me put myself on mute for a second. I took my chances last week.
You're not muted. You're not muted.
Chances.
Be careful.
Oh,
jeez. Okay.
I took my chances last week.
Turn him off. Turn him off.
Two.
Turn him off. Nobody can hear you anymore. Wow.
I like Cal anyway, so I'm taking Cal.
All right, we're all gonna. It's fine. We're all gonna tie. Okay. I've had it with this. Jerry, can you just pick, please? I want to talk about Oregon and Utah.
Okay. For all the right reasons, or all the reasons I said Cal. Okay, Cal.
Everybody takes Cal. Sylvan Ridge Winery picks are officially in the books, and this is great. Jerry is our winner. Congratulations, Jerry.
Thank you.
You now only owe me one dinner on the tab.
Oh, jeez.
I think I'll be cashing that in here tonight when we're in the most expensive city in America.
Oh, jeez.
That seems like the right thing to do. All right, let's talk Oregon and Utah, guys. 5 o'clock tomorrow. This is going to be a awesome game for a lot of reasons. One, Mario Cristobal's talked a lot, Jerry, about how the Ducks have earned the opportunity to be in this game. That's what you want to do. There's only a few teams that are playing championship football right now. Ducks are one of them. Jerry, it's definitely safe to say there's a sour taste in Oregon's mouth after what the Utes did to them. How did the Ducks beat them in round 2?
Well, you got to play smart and play, almost error-free football. They didn't play well. They didn't play smart. They didn't play inspired football. I didn't think in Salt Lake City. I thought Utah came out on a mission. They had all kinds of reasons to be sky high, and they were. And Oregon kind of got punched in the mouth but didn't respond. Why? I don't know. I'm not sure the coaches know, and I'm not sure maybe even the players understand why they were so flat in that game. So that can't happen again. And this is a neutral side, although Utah's going to have a lot of fans there, so will Oregon. I think you get back to basics, doing what got you to where you are. They did that last week against Oregon State. They ran the ball. I think that Anthony is a key part of the success of beating Utah. And you gotta not let Cameron Rising free and run for a big first down on 3rd and long. Make mistakes like penalties and give them a first down. Control the clock at the end of the game. Things like, just don't beat yourself. Don't beat yourself, and it'll be a down to the wire ball game. It's that simple for me.
Yeah, I think penalties were a huge key. You take a look at the final score in that last game, and you're like, man, Utah beat them pretty good. But then you look at the fact that Oregon had 2 drives stall because of some penalties, had one Utah scoring drive extend because of a penalty, and then that wild punt return at the end of the half happens, and I think that really was a gut punch. Jorgie, what do you think? Play good football, going to win the game?
Yeah, I think getting themselves right back into the right frame of mind, first of all, in that Oregon State win. That Oregon State win at Autzen Stadium was big. And the way they did it, I think, was big too. Not only shutting down the leading rusher in the conference in B.J. Baylor, and an offense at Oregon State that really prides himself on being able to own the line of scrimmage. I think that was the type of game that Oregon needed to be able to play defensively and offensively, to be able to get back to running the ball that sets up everything else. And Anthony Brown probably played his best game of the season. Rushing the ball, throwing the ball, making good decisions, made a great deep throw, was in total command. So, for me, it's just get yourself back in the right frame of mind. Utah's not as good away from home. I would say Oregon's not as good away from home too, but Oregon's been better away from home. And having this be a neutral site game, I think brings things back to an even-Steven type of situation. But for me, it's always going to be run the ball, but you've got to be good on first down. You look at the 3rd down conversions that Utah had in that game 2 weeks ago, It was ridiculous in the Utes' favor. You look at the third down conversions that Oregon had against Oregon State last week, ridiculously in Oregon's favor. And a lot of that had to do with what they did in the early downs to make the later downs a lot easier, getting ahead of the chains, controlling the ball that way. So that's what I look forward to. Is I look forward to this defense getting back to what they do well, and that is stop the run and offensively run the ball. And I think everything will take care of itself.
Yeah, that's my key in this game exactly, is be better on first and second down, both defensively and offensively. You want a lot of 3rd and 4s, not a lot of 3rd and 10s. And unfortunately, the Ducks were on the opposite end of that spectrum, really on both sides of the ball this past matchup with the Utes. Darren with a great point. If you've ever seen Rocky III, you know how tomorrow's game is going to end. Oregon is Rocky, Utah is Clubber Lang.
I like it.
I like it a lot. All right, fellas, we got a flight to catch. I'm going to let you guys go, and then everybody who wants more game keys, tune into the pregame show, 3 o'clock tomorrow. Guys, it feels like a great day to take a half day tomorrow, doesn't it?
I'm down with that. I will sleep in and maybe get to the ballpark around noon, little snack, play football, come back home.
You know, everyone thinks he's kidding, but that's actually pretty much what our schedule is tomorrow. The equipment bus leaves the hotel at noon, so.
Hey, by the way, somebody asked me, this is a big revenge game for Oregon. No, it is not a revenge game any more than it's a revenge game for Utah, because Oregon took Utah out of 2 very important spots at the Pac-12 Championship game. So revenge is not, Jorgie, I don't think revenge is a part of this. I think this is come out and play football. Oregon wants to say, we didn't play very well. Here's how we can play. Utah is just going to try to win again.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Yep.
All right. That's one of the few things that all of us agree on today. Mike Jorgensen, Jerry Allen, our Sylvan Ridge Winery Picks champion. Jerry gets to hoist the belt, and let's see. At this point, Jorgie owes me 2 dinners. Jerry owes me 1. The coin owes us all 7.
Give the coin the credit card.
I'm looking.
I'm in. All right, guys. Thanks for the time, fellas, and we'll see you over at the airport, all right?
All right, thanks, Joey. Thanks.
Jerry Allen, Mike Jorgensen. They will have the call for the Pac-12 Championship tomorrow, and I cannot wait to take this break and come back and hear from Verone McKinley on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
This made me laugh. Tobiah asking, is the coin Uncle Phil? The coin is actually like if you've ever seen like challenge coins, those of you who are familiar with that, it's actually a Marine Corps recruiting depot from San Diego, California coin. This was presented to Jerry's grandson, actually, after, I believe, the spring game, because the Ducks always honor the military during the spring game, and that was one that was given to him. And so we used that coin to flip it. Man, Oregon and Utah. I cannot wait for this. I said we were going to hear from Verone McKinley. Let's do that. The General talking Ducks and Utes, 5 o'clock tomorrow.
who's starting.
You don't want to start? You don't have an opening statement?
No?
You are the general.
Opening statement. Last time we played this team, we got embarrassed. So tune in Friday night.
Just gonna say, as a competitor, just how nice is it to have a second chance against a team that does that? I'm not trying to put bulletin board material. Just
it's huge. It's huge. Like I said, it's the 2 weeks ago was probably the worst loss we've had since I've been here. So to get this team again, understand what type of game it's going to be, know what we did wrong, know how we can be better, let's do it again. Good team over there. They've always been a good team. Well coached, disciplined, physical. We're the same. So we're going to put the ball down, go toe-to-toe again, and this time it's going to be a little different.
If you're going to play a team twice like this, do you prefer it being so fresh, or would you have preferred to play them maybe when you played Stanford or something?
Of course, you like it being fresh. There's no other motivating factor. Like, they embarrassed us. So as soon as the Oregon State game was over, we celebrated it for a couple hours, and we were like, oh, yeah, it's time. Let's go. We got some unfinished business.
Schematically, was it helpful that Oregon State was somewhat similar to Utah with rolling out multiple tight ends and being good in the run game, that maybe you were able to fix some things that can be translated into this week?
Absolutely. I think that, for one, helps with the confidence. We can't stop the run. We're a good defense. Sometimes there's some tweaks and things that we may not do the best at certain times, but we know we can, and when we do it, we're really effective and efficient at it. So going into the week, knowing it's kind of the same thing, being able to do it and know that we can be physical, we can play discipline, and we held, one of the best rushing teams, 85 yards, so just go put it on tape.
Was the difference from week to week, was that just assignments and handling assignments better? Was it something else on the side? What do you point to as the big improvement there from Utah to Oregon State in the run game?
I think the biggest thing was our mindset. Especially, I can say that to a personal test, I had I missed 2 tackles against Utah. I didn't have any missed tackles last week. I sent a message, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to send a message. We knew what the stakes were. We knew that if we win, they win, we'll see them again. So we were like, we're gonna send a message on tape. So when we see them again in Las Vegas, they know exactly what they're gonna get.
Were you a little shook when the flag went for the targeting?
Oh, absolutely. Because I was trying to get the ball, and it was just one of those bang bang plays. So I was amped up the whole game, but those last 5 minutes, I was livid, you could tell.
So on the broadcast, you're kind of you grab the helmet, you're kind of going to the sideline, and it looked like Mario pointed to the board, being like, "You're on TV right now." Like, was that what he was saying to you there?
No, he was saying, he's like, "You're good. You're not gonna get kicked out. You're not gonna get kicked. Just relax." He was telling me, "Just relax. You need to just calm down, because I've been reviewed for targeting so many times, and and then he had said something, so I was just mad, and I was like, I don't want to get kicked out. I knew if I get kicked out, I miss the first half next week, so. A lot of emotion.
Is it the most heated you've been on a football field in a while?
The most what?
Most heated? Upset?
Honestly, it has. Because I'm an emotional player. I play fired up, but that time I was angry. Like, I was really angry. And I was just like, every time, it's always something, always trying to get me out the game. So I was livid.
Do you like playing kind of the villain card? I think people in Corvallis, back-to-back years you've had. Do you like that opportunity?
It's funny to me because, for instance, I talked to Tristan after the game because I was like, there was no malicious intent. They keep saying, I was playing football, trying to pull him out of a pile because they're on the 1 yard line. So I'm like, I wasn't trying to hurt the dude. And he even knows that. He didn't even get hurt from me. So we're good. I said we're good with him. And then the play, the target, whatever, why would I try to take somebody out the game? I want your best players on the field doing their very best. So it's just the same thing. So that's why I tweeted, see y'all Friday. I'm chilling. Y'all can be mad all you want. Whatever it is, I have a game next Friday.
Do you think he was coming for you instead of Dante?
Oh, probably. Is what it is. People just.
But that's from behind. There's a code, and he got the gate because of it.
We have a game on Friday.
Jamal and Jordan were added to the leadership council along with Stephen Jones. Coach said it, but for you particularly, because you're a defensive back, can you speak to Jordan and Jamal and what they've done in your eyes to kind of? Coach said that the leadership council wanted to add them, that was an active choice. Like, what was behind that?
For Jordan, came back, club on the hand, has been making plays. Coverage has been really good. He hasn't really made too many mistakes, and another guy that can play all the spots, and just somebody who's really stepped up leadership-wise. His words matter to people around here. Whatever he says, people look at it and take into account what he's saying. And then Jamal's just taking stride after stride after stride, and just getting better on and off the field, and just somebody who we look at as a leader, and he's continued to grow and mature mentally, so we thought he should be in it too.
How much has he grown, just given off the field what happened that kept him out of a couple games at the start to where he's at now, to being put on the leadership council?
He understood what he did, and he did everything he could to work to get back, and we respected that, and we knew he's a good person. He's a good dude. He's my friend of mine. Off the field, I hang out with him, so good person, and he knows he is, and he just made a mistake.
Would you rather play in a dome or outside when all things are kind of equal in an environment like you're going to go into? The weather doesn't play a factor in game script and game plan. What do you like?
I like for situations to be hard because I don't want to hear any excuses once we win. So whatever it is, it was cold, snow, whatever happened, it is what it is, but we won. So I like to make it as hard as possible. I like challenges.
Playing well in the trenches is always important, but Dorless and Popo and the importance of those guys having good games on Saturday.
They got to stay in their gaps and get off blocks and just be them. Take up, be space eaters if anything, and allow it for us to be clear from the second and third level. But keep doing what they're doing. The way they played this past Saturday, they do that, I think we'll be in good hands.
From being a safety, you find yourself matched up with a bunch of different positions. And looking at Utah, they obviously have some pretty good tight ends. I'm curious kind of what goes into defending a tight end successfully, since they can do a lot of different things.
Depends on the kind of tight end you're going against. For instance, Utah, I know 80 and 86, they're a little different. 80's a little bit faster. He's a little more polished receiving compared to 86. 86 does a good job, but he's more of a true tight end. He's going to block a little bit more. So just understanding the techniques, that's down and distance, the situation of how you want to play them. And for me, you switch it up. You may see me press, I may play off. Of course, I play zone, getting hands on people, make sure we reroute, be physical, just different things.
I'd ask Coach DeRuiter this, so I'm not putting you in a spot, but putting your game film hat on, could you ever envision doubling a tight end?
When you say envisioning it, like in college or
like this week? But
no, because I feel like we're good enough to cover anybody. We don't need to double some people, and I think they have a good tight end, but I feel we have some good DBs too. And of course myself, because he does line up as a tight end in the slot. I love the matchup. That matchup is going to happen. We will be manned up at some point in the game, so it's about winning your one-on-one. But I mean, even next level, you got guys like Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Gesicki, different tight ends. So sometimes you need to. It just depends on the defense and what the offense is trying to do. Their offense that wants to do different things. So doubling a tight end wouldn't help us probably as much if they're a team who's balanced and wants to run the ball, but then they'll flex them out sometimes, play action, so just different things like that.
How versatile is Jamal, where you guys came out in that 4-3 look, and traditionally you'd be back there with Hap. You may even roll down. But Jamal's still there to create a 7.5, 8-man kind of box, which he does in base, but you don't have three backers in base. Just how versatile is Jamal to be able to offer something there?
Very versatile. He's a big body, fast, physical guy, so he's able to be in the box and cover slots, tight ends as well, so that helps us. It allows us to do even more, essentially.
There's been a lot of outside noise just around this team, things you guys hear from the outside, but between Coach Moorhead's health emergency, Coach Cristobal having to go home and see his mother, has perspective been added just at various points this year, at least to you guys, that noise is just kind of noise, and then there are things that exist outside this realm here?
Absolutely. People are humans. They're not just, football is great, coaching is great, of course, playing football, but at the same time, you have a life, there's other issues and things that go on, other things that you care about, so it's just about balancing both, and that's what makes football kind of special, because you have to balance both. You have to go to class and go and study extra film and do whatever. You do have family things, health things, taking care of yourself, mental health, all of that. So it's part of it. But at the same time, we understand the goal. Everybody understands the end goal. So we take care of that, and we understand when people have to do certain things, but we also know that they're going to put the work whenever that time is, whenever they can, and we're going to make sure that we hold up our end of that as well. Whatever we need to do on our own, leaders, that's why we have a leadership council. Guys can do it themselves. Coach, if you want us to get this done, we'll make sure it's done. That just shows how we are as a culture. So.
And you're one of the first guys who's usually here on Sunday, and when he's not this past Sunday, and you know why, what does that mean to you as a player when he's attending to something of that seriousness?
We understand. He told us after the game, said, we love you, make sure we take care of everything. Just because he's not here does not mean we don't understand how things need to be ran, how things need to look, what we need to do, and that's just how it is. He's built a culture here, and we respect that. We respect him, and that's what we made sure we handled our business.
A lot of good stuff from Verone McKinley. There's a reason that they call him the general out there on the field, right? When we come back, Popo Amavai talking about Utah, Seven McGee as well here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Oregon and Utah coming up tomorrow. Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mac in the Country Financial Studio. Popo Amavai has emerged as a real leader for this team. He's just a guy who takes care of business every time he's out there on the field. Let's hear a little bit from what Popo, or let's hear a little bit of what Popo had to say as the Ducks get ready to take on the Utes.
Coach Druder talked about making necessary adjustments, but not making too many. What have you guys been going over this week so far? And how you guys can come out with a little more drive through the line.
Just like you said, just tightening it down and just kind of making it, what's the word? Sorry, I'm terrible at it. I can't think of the word. Just kind of, just making it simple for us. Not a lot of talking going on. I think everybody's just going to come out, ready. And the assignments are simple this week. So,
do you think it's beneficial to have playing Utah 2 times in 3 weeks, or do you think it just doesn't make too much of a difference?
What do you mean?
You guys have just played them recently. You guys have this fresh in your mind. Do you think that helps you guys overall as a defense, or do you think it's just it's another day?
I think it helps because, like you said, we played them recently, but it also it's fresh. We played them very recent. It's not the beginning of the season. It's 2 weeks ago. So still definitely have that bad taste in our mouth and excited.
What was it that Utah did a couple of weeks ago that really limited your defensive line and the push that you guys got? And how do you think you can go over that this time?
They were more physical than us. And that's something we hammer here every day is being physical, and they out-physicaled us. And they ran the ball. We just couldn't stop it. But, I'm excited for this week. A lot of adjustments and a lot of focusing on the little things, even though they're not little. So,
being on one of the older guys on the team, and you played in a couple of Pac-12 titles, how does that help you, and how do you kind of attribute that to the rest of the team that's younger and hasn't really played in this big of a game before?
Just composure. I think a lot of the young guys are excited about the name of the title of the whole thing. It's another opportunity that we earned to play another week, and so it's another game. It's obviously a Pac-12 Championship has a great name to it, but I think just me being an older guy, just have everybody keep their composure and just focus on the fundamentals. So.
Guy joked early in the interview. He's like, God, sorry, guys, I'm bad at interviews. I thought that was great. Popo with great stuff. I mean, that's why he's a leader on this team, a veteran who definitely knows what it takes to be successful. Next up, Seven McGee, a guy who's really settled in, I think, to that punt returner role. But we know there's no bigger stage that he's been on than what he's going to experience on Friday. Got to take care of the football if you're Seven McGee. Punt returns, running the ball. Let's hear a little bit from Seven McGee.
With you heading into this game as a freshman, Pac-12 title game with Johnny and Jalen being hurt, how are they kind of helping, guide you through that big moment, and then obviously your position change too?
Just not making it too big, if that makes sense. Just doing what I got to do, staying patient, know what I got to do exactly, know what the coaches want, and just be there for the team.
With that, obviously you have a ton of experienced players that have played in a big moment like that. Just talk about how comforting it is and just be able to bounce things off of those guys too that have played in this big moment.
Oh, it's big. Obviously, I've been coming around for a long time, being a recruit, being committed for 3 years. Seeing those big games, I was actually at the game where they played Utah in 2019 for the Pac-12 Championship game. So I know what the atmosphere is like. I know what it feels like, just not as a player, but being a recruit at that time. It's a great moment, and finally dreams to come true to go play for the Pac-12 Championship.
You guys just touched on it there, but is this kind of the games that players like yourself, who was a high-rated recruit, come here for, of these opportunities?
Yeah, definitely. Games like this you dream of as a kid. You dream of being in a situation as I am now, being able to go out there and play, just not sit there, but actually get my hands on the ball and be able to play, and the coaches trust me. It's big. It's huge.
Do you get a chance every once in a while to look around and kind of soak that in and just kind of have that moment of like, all right, I'm here, I made it?
Yeah, I look at it honestly. Dating back to the Utah loss, when we lost, I actually stayed on the field for a bit and kind of soaked it in. Some players were telling me, see you in 2 weeks, but as you know, we get ready for Oregon State the next week. We won. Now going back to Utah, really looking at it and sitting in the field after practice for a little bit extra and just thinking about what's really going on.
What was it about Salt Lake that you took in there, the extra time on the field?
Them rushing the field when we lost, it was painful. Watching them celebrate and watching the other team smile when we know what we could have done and how we could have played, and we didn't play to our expectations. So that really hurt. I know it hurt a lot of people, especially the seniors going in. So just that moment.
Those the new cleats you guys are wearing on Friday?
Yeah, foam posits. They're nice cleats.
They look great, too, if you haven't gotten a chance to see them on social media. Seven McGee, and, look, that's a guy, again, who I think is going to be a great asset for the Ducks because he can do so many different things throughout his career. Just looking ahead with me for a moment, because now he's working at wide receiver quite a bit. As the Ducks have had some injuries, some guys leave the program there. Seven McGee's been working at receiver. I mean, man, the versatility from a guy like that, I think, really, really key for the Ducks. Oregon facing Utah coming up 5 o'clock in the Pac-12 Championship game tomorrow. When we come back, we're going to switch gears a little bit, talk a little bit more football, I should say. Also, Dane Altman, going to hear from him. Kelly Graves, going to hear from him. A little bit of an update on basketball as we continue to talk about all sports, and then C.J. Verdell. We're going to look back on his career in just a moment. First, we're going to learn about Achilles tendon ruptures on our Slocum Center Minute. Then we're back to the Country Financial Studio on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to the Slocum Center Minute. Slocum Center orthopedic doctors are located here in Eugene and are the official orthopedic team physicians for your Oregon Ducks. With me, I have Dr. Lyle Jackson, a foot and ankle orthopedic surgeon at Slocum Center for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, discussing Achilles tendon ruptures. Dr. Jackson, tell us about Achilles tendon ruptures in athletes.
Achilles tendon ruptures in athletes are fairly common, especially in explosive sports like football, soccer, basketball. Oftentimes, athletes will describe being kicked in the back of their leg when nobody was there.
What's the recovery look like after you go through something like that?
Well, it can take a while. It definitely it's a season-ending injury for athletes, and that's regardless of whether it's treated surgically or non-surgically. There's certainly some advantages to treating surgically in athletes, and that's mostly to restore that length-tension relationship to the tendon. So most athletes end up having them fixed surgically.
Dr. Jackson, thanks for the information. Thanks for what you do.
You're welcome.
That was the Slocum Center Minute, brought to you by Slocum Center for Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official orthopedic sports medicine team physicians for University of Oregon Athletics since 1967.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home.
So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
What's with Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew is like a zipline of incredible flavor directly into your brain. Mountain Dew is like getting punched in the mouth with pure neon refreshment that creates a neural explosion, sending flavor shards of electric brain pulses into your very core of being. Okay, maybe that's a little over the top, but you get the idea. The fact is, the mind-bending challenge of describing the taste of Mountain Dew is way harder than just experiencing it. That, of course, is easy. Just grab an ice cold Dew, crack it open, and toss them back. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Oregon and Utah tomorrow, and I want to look back on the career of C.J. Verdell. He already has earned his graduate degree. Man, and I just feel, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I just feel so terrible for him not being able to play this, what really is his senior year. I know eligibility, he's a junior, but this was, this felt like the senior year for C.J. Verdell, the 1-2 punch with Travis Dye. Well, he's already got his degree, and that's a huge accomplishment for the Chula Vista native. And, we do this every week. We recognize one of the student athletes that has really embodied the student part of being an athlete. Brought to you by our friends at Graduate Hotel. Graduate Eugene, the smartest place to stay for Oregon football fans. C.J. Verdell, one of just 5 players in Oregon history to rush for 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. He entered this year with over 2,500 career rushing yards, and he was already on the all-time top 10 list for the Ducks. 10 career 100-yard rushing performances. That's also top 10 in Oregon history. And the Ducks entering the year 9-1 when Verdell rushes for 100 yards or more. Yeah, pretty good. He became just the 9th player in Oregon history to surpass 2,500 rushing yards last season. And he was the Pac-12 Championship game MVP as a sophomore, where he ran wild over Utah. Was one of his best performances. Rushed for 208 yards on 18 carries, 3 touchdowns in that Pac-12 Championship games, equaling the championship game record. C.J. Verdell, man, I'm looking so forward to what the future holds for him. Wish that he could have been on the field for the Ducks all season long, but he made the most of his opportunities in an Oregon uniform. And, well, we'll see what the future holds for one of the best running backs, I think it's safe to say, that Oregon has ever seen. And he's already got his degree. C.J. Verdell, our graduated Duck, brought to you by Graduate Eugene, the smartest place to stay for Oregon football fans, our graduated Duck. Now we're going to switch gears. Let's talk a little bit of basketball. Oregon men, a 71-65 winner over UC Riverside last night. They ended up shooting 55%. Coach Altman, glad the Ducks got the win, but still work to be done, as the head coach outlined postgame.
You guys made a lot of big shots, Eric with a couple in particular over the last 8 minutes or so, and you had some outstanding defensive possessions. How do you balance maybe frustration at the game being as close as it was, as late as it was, with the way your guys finished at both ends?
No, I thought defensively we had a couple shot clock violations there late. I thought we picked it up, but I was very disappointed up until that point. We didn't slide our feet. I mean, we weren't even close enough to foul them. I mean, I think we had a couple fouls in the first half, a couple of fouls in the second half. We could have been much more aggressive defensively. We kept telling them each time out, fellas, we don't have any fouls. Get up. We can be more aggressive defensively. And obviously we didn't get that done. So a lot of good things. Our ball movement in the first half was really good. I thought second half we didn't run stuff nearly as well. Our rotation, I think, we got a little fatigue there. Our guys that, I played too many minutes. We didn't execute very well offensively on a couple possessions, and that was a little disappointing. But we needed to win, and we found a way to get it. A lot of things to improve upon, but there's going to be those games where you just got to scratch out a win.
Coach Eric just said that he thinks that you guys are kind of a different team at home than you've been on the road this year for whatever reason. I'm curious what you think of that and maybe what you can do to try and fix that going forward.
Well, we'll worry about that when we go on the road. I don't know. That's got to be a team thing. That's not something that, I can tell them, hey, fellas, we got to do this on the road. The guys just got to get together and decide what type of team they want to have. Leadership's got to be better on the road. You got to fight adversity a little bit better. But, that's a team thing. That's a team getting together and getting, organized on the road and being ready to play on the road. So there's no magic formula, but I will say we've had a decent road team here over the years. Our guys have usually gotten together and played decent on the road. I think our percentages during the Pac-12 have been decent. So, we're going to have to do a good job this year.
Will had struggled the last couple of weeks to score for you guys, and Eric mentioned the importance of getting him going and getting him back on track. In the last two games now, he seems to be playing better, and today he also distributed the ball well. Just your thoughts on Will and the way he's played the last couple of games.
Well, I thought he did some good things. I thought the first half he was really moving the ball well. He tried throwing the lob to Dante. He wasn't even close on that. Throwing it with his right hand, I think. But and he had another turnover late. So a lot of good things. I didn't think he had his best defensive game. I've seen him play really well defensively, and I don't think he had his best defensive game tonight. But again, he did dictate a lot of things. His percentages were good, 7 for 12, 2 for 3. So, I thought a lot of positives there for him.
What kind of impact does Infali provide there down the stretch, Dana, when he comes in, it's a tie game? I realize he makes about 50% of his free throws there down the stretch. I'm sure that's part of it, but obviously 3 of his 5 rebounds come in those last several minutes. And was that pushing the limit by way of minutes now that he just topped 22? Or
no, it was. We're trying to keep it around 20, and so I went over a couple minutes there. But he did have a pretty long rest there when we went small for a while. So I think he played 12 minutes the first half and 10 the second. So I don't think we didn't either half. We didn't play him a lot of minutes, but he did get a couple big rebounds there. But he's lost a little of his mobility. He's not moving his feet as quick as he used to. He and Frank both, they got to be more mobile. And so again, with our defense, as many times as they got in the paint, they had 42 points in the paint. We had 1 block shot. If we're going to play big, we got to change some things at the rim. Now, our other guys got to fight the dribble a heck of a lot better. I'm not letting them off the hook, but we've got to have some better rim protection. That's always been a big part. If we're going to play those big guys, we got to protect the rim a little bit more.
Good stuff from Dana Altman. A lot of things to take away there, and I think Oregon improving, but they've got Arizona State coming up to open Pac-12 play on Sunday at 4 o'clock, 3:30 pregame show with me, unfortunately for you, here on the Oregon Sports Network. Yeah, Devin was commenting, hey, it seemed like 50 points in the paint, 20 offensive rebounds. Ducks gave up 42 points in the paint, only 7 offensive rebounds, though, for UC Riverside. And, I mean, look, you never want to give up any offensive rebounds, but sometimes it's going to happen. building block for the Ducks. And now against an Arizona State team that's got just 2 wins so far this year coming to town. Ducks need to get that win over the Sun Devils coming up on Sunday to open Pac-12 play and then going into finals week. When we come back, some more updates on Oregon football, and we'll check in with Kelly Graves after the women's basketball team, man. They're beat up. We're going to talk about that next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back! So consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment? Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages?
It's been so long!
Nope, sorry Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, the loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mac in the Country Financial Studio. You know, Tobias was mentioning the rim protection on the bench, Biddle and Johnson. So here's the thing, though. They can't stay out of foul trouble. If you look at the amount of minutes that Biddle and Johnson are playing, it was better against Montana, but they just can't stay out of foul trouble. You're not protecting the rim if you're giving up free throws. I think that's going to be the progression for those guys, is staying out of foul trouble. Meanwhile, for women's basketball, a tough loss to UC Davis last night. Tough team that gave them everything they wanted last year. Kelly Graves said that heading into this game. And Oregon just could not get a shot down the stretch. Went 0 for their last 8 and 1 for their last 12 from the floor. A tough loss for Oregon as they are banged up without Niara Sabali, without Tahina Paopao, without India Rogers. And the Ducks hope to have them back in the next few weeks, but there's a lot of pressure on players like Maddie Shear right now and the rest of this squad, as Kelly Graves mentioned post-game. He was frustrated.
Nothing bad. We're just trying to talk through the game tonight and what we need to do looking forward. So disappointed in the outcome. At times disappointed in the effort, but I thought we certainly tried, and just wasn't good enough tonight. Offensively, we were very challenged. I thought defensively we were good enough to have won this game. But we're just not real good offensively right now. It's kind of disappointing. Got to get better.
Kelly, realizing that it is a very shorthanded squad, but this is a loss to a low major conference for the first time in 7 years. So what do you say to the team right now? Because you know they're trying and you know they're shorthanded, but at the same time, this does have some implications here.
Well, we're not so shorthanded that we couldn't have won the game. I mean, that we needed to win the game. I mean, that's what we wanted to do. What do you tell them? I mean, that we've got to get better. We've got to play with a little bit more focus. We've got to, we've got to shoot it better. I mean, we didn't shoot it well from anywhere, from the 2, from the 3, from the free throw line. We broke down defensively a few times, but, you look at our defensive numbers and those were solid. I just thought they out-hustled us on the 50-50s tonight. I thought they got a lot of those offensive rebounds. We'd made a stop, and then, they get it and they capitalize on it. We wanted to take away the 3-point line, and they make 8. It's honestly a little bit of everything. We were a step slow defensively. That's why they had 23 free throws. We've just got to get better. I mean, you know what? This is the team we're going to have for the next month. We've got to find a way. We can't worry about who we don't have. I got to do better coaching the team that we do have.
Yeah, Coach, I was just going to ask, what things maybe carried over from the trip to the Bahamas that were also not improved upon? Were there things that you would have, I guess, expected or maybe hoped to have seen better based upon what you've seen, obviously, that maybe were acknowledged going in?
Well, we've shown that we're offensively challenged, and that's just being real. Okay. We've got players that are in what have to be playmaking roles right now. That's just not their nature. They're more complementary players, and we're asking them to do a lot more. I was encouraged by the fact that we only turned the ball over 8 times tonight. That was one of our bugaboos down on the island. So that was better. We had some pretty good looks. I mean, I thought, one of the things I've always prided myself on, two things offensively: shot selection and taking care of the ball. We took care of the ball tonight. We had a decent night with our shot selection. We just couldn't make many. And in the end, you've got to against a good team. Yeah, they might be a so-called low major, but that's a pretty good program.
That is a good program. They're consistent at UC Davis, and I think that is a tough loss for the Ducks. So now the question is, where do you go from here? For Oregon men's basketball, a couple tough losses. Where they went, they got 2 wins at home. Now the Duck women's basketball team is going to go to Portland, 6 o'clock on Friday. That's a good team, too. The Ducks are going to have to be ready for them. As you take a look at your schedule, also today, we're live from 10 to 11 in the morning getting ready for our trip to Las Vegas. So shout out Oregon volleyball. Those of you who are listening to the show later on, you may know the outcome, but the Ducks are playing Kansas in the opening round of the NCAA tournament today. Best of luck to Matt Ulmer and his squad. 2:30. You can find all the info on GoDucks.com. Click on the volleyball schedule page for how to tune in. 2:30 in Omaha, Oregon against Kansas. Volleyball tournament is underway. Then hopefully the Ducks will be advancing to the round of 32, and then I think they got a good chance to get to the Sweet 16 again. And then, of course, football. 5 o'clock tomorrow. Ducks, Utes, Pac-12 Championship game. It doesn't get better than this. We will talk to you for a 3 o'clock pregame show right here on the Oregon Sports Network.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?